Hi everybody! Welcome back to SeraCraft Studios. I'm Sarah. I'm the owner and dyer behind SeraCraft Yarn, and it's been a while. I think I say it every time, but I don't have really a set schedule of when works out to podcast. So today just happened to work, and I'm going with it. So it is Thursday, August 8th, and the summer is flying by. It's been a very busy, very fun summer so far, but I can't believe it's almost over. So I sort of forgot what I'm supposed to do here. Okay, let's see. So I'm Sarah, and you can find me on Instagram and occasionally Facebook, SeraCraft Yarn, and I have an Etsy shop, SeraCraft Yarn. And you can find me in 2 brick and mortar stores, well not me, but my yarn, in 2 brick and mortar stores here in Washington State, at A Little Nitty in Auburn, Washington, and you should go in and see Jen. She has a great selection of all kinds of indie dyers, really great goodies in there. And then also you can go see Esther over at the Hook and Needle Nook in Spokane. So yeah, you can find my yarn there. I'm sort of doing a revamp a little bit of my business and get back to my roots a little bit, as in the reason that I wanted to start dyeing yarn. So I will talk about that a little bit towards the end. So so I will talk about that. I'll talk about some of the stuff I'm working on right now and try to insert some video and pictures at the end. I did a little garden tour. Our very big but sad garden. It was so hot and we were so gone. We'll see if I can talk. We were gone for 2.5 weeks in Italy this summer, and so I missed some of the times to pick things, like our cauliflower. I missed that. I should have picked it before I left or something, but I didn't. Anyway, so that was sad. The chickens were very happy to get that treat. But okay, so that's where you can find me. What else is pertinent information? I've been online a little bit less, so you may not have seen as many posts from me. I've been trying to enjoy the summer with my family. I'm coming to you from Eastern Washington, where I live and raise my kids with my husband on our little homestead farm situation here, looking out in the mountains. So yeah, so I have a little video at the end of the garden, okay, and I'll insert a couple of other pictures of that, and then what else? I guess I'll talk a little bit about our Italy trip for those that are interested, but first, up till now this summer, I have been playing with my kids. We've been doing a lot of game nights. We play cornhole out on our deck. It's really fun. We love to do that. And we've been playing around outside and doing things. My son turned 9. Time has gone so quickly. And that was really fun. He turned 9 while we were in Italy, so that was quite a fun birthday. And then it was my dad's birthday, and my parents just had their wedding anniversary. My birthday is in a couple weeks. The big 4-0. Oh my God. I feel like Sally O'Malley. I don't know if anybody knows who that is. But anyways, oh my goodness. So both my kids are at a play date today, so I have a little bit of time, and I figured I would go ahead and record what could end up being a very silly podcast. I don't really know. Okay, Italy was great. We were in Florence. We were in the Tuscan region, in a winery outside of Florence for most of it. It was amazing. We did a wine tour. We talked about how wine and olive oil are made over there at this amazing place. That's an Impruneta, And we went to Pompeii and walked around in there, which was awesome. Our son is obsessed with Pompeii, so that was a really fun trip. We took the train over and spent the night, and then we're there the whole day, and it was so hot, and we had our backpacks full of My Little Ponies and Transformers and changes of clothes and all of that kind of stuff that you do. And it was just really hot, but it was a wonderful trip. We did not have time to go to Herculaneum, but we're already planning another trip. And I learned to speak a little bit of Italian, which was super awesome. And I would like to be fluent in Italian, and I would love to go back. So we had a great time. It was my husband and our kids, my parents, my brother, and his lovely girlfriend that I finally got to meet. And we had a great time. We were all eating amazing food and drinking amazing wine and enjoying the weather. It was super hot for part of it, but and I think I said that like 3 times because it was like 105 degrees a couple of days Fahrenheit, and that's crazy. But it was great. There was a brush fire at the back of our property while we were gone, which was not fun to see online, but everything is safe, and so that's okay. It didn't come too far up, so that was good. In the meantime, we are back. It is fire season. Hopefully the picture is okay. It's pretty smoky out right now with pretty bad air quality, but we're just staying inside and on our tablets too much. I'm knitting. I'm doing a test knit. It's really fun. I can do a sneak peek of that a little bit and talk about that too. So I also have been watching fewer podcasts. I miss catching up with some of the podcasters that I watch, but I've just been noticing that I want to be on my phone less. I want to be online less. I care what people are doing, but it's the scrolling, the random scrolling. It feels very impersonal, and I start to go, I don't care. And so I have changed some of who I am following and what I'm looking at, and that feels really good because I know that there's a lot going on in the world, and I know there's a lot going on in the knitting community, but you know, when I go online, it's sort of an escape for me from what's going on. If there's something, you know, bad that they're talking about on the news, I don't go on social media to talk about that. I want to go to see the beautiful things that people are making, whether it's sewing or knitting or dyeing yarn or whatever. I want to see the gardening stuff. I want to talk about how people are preserving things. I want to learn something and do something, look at beautiful pictures. And I know that some people say it should be more than that, but to me, that's the thing that drew me into specifically Instagram, because there was not a huge political presence on Instagram at the time, and I liked to see all of the pictures that were beautiful. And maybe not every picture has to be perfectly curated, because mine certainly are not, but I enjoy seeing those pictures, and they're the ones that I stop and look at them, and I enjoy that. So I'm going back to that a little bit more to see those things and follow different people. I've learned some new people to follow, some new sewists and pattern designers. I really want to make kombucha. I've drank it over the years, but I've never made it, and I think it'd be really fun to make. Somebody offered to send me some of her SCOBY, which was great. I won't say her name in case you don't want me to share, but thank you. And I'm really excited. So now I just need to do some more research on what else I need. I need a vessel to put it in. I need some recipes. So feel free to comment below or send me a message on any of that. And one person that I have been reading about lately, it's funny because Maria Tuscan from Tuscan Knits, she wrote a blog post, and one of the things that really stuck out at me in the last one was about how when you're offline, you're less influenced by what others are doing. And that's totally true. I think that are bombarded with images and information all day long, and to sort of step away, you can find a different part of what is interesting for you, and you're less influenced by others on what you decide to make, or maybe as a dyer what colors you're using, and that's really interesting. So I am drawn to different things when I'm not looking at what other people are doing. And there are patterns that I was very interested in making, and everybody was making them, and I realized they don't really fit into the sort of style and wardrobe that I'm curating for myself, and so it's not as rewarding to finish a project that you just think, God, I'm not going to wear that. It was fun to knit, but now what am I going to do with it? So I've had a few things I want to frog or start with different colors so that they fit in, and I felt that her post, it made me sort of remember that and go, oh yes, that's right, and that's another reason to step away. And with all that said, I'm still online, but not as much. So let me take a quick sip of my sparkling water. Okay, so I have a couple of FOs. One of them is actually one that I'm not 100% sure that I like. It's the Tamora Tank, which was a Barocco pattern. It's a free pattern, and I'm sort of half ready to be here today, but I don't have that tag. Oh yes, I do. I have the tag. Okay, it was Juniper Moon Farm in the Sabine colorway, or Sabine base. The colorway is number 27, Teal Zeal, and it is a 30% Royal Llama, 30% Merino wool, 40% cotton blend. And so I made this tank. I haven't worn it since I finished it. I thought I would wear it in Italy, but I took it. It was way too hot. And I don't know. I just don't love it. I'm not really sure. I don't know what I want to do with it. I don't want to reuse the yarn for something else because I didn't love knitting with the yarn in the first place. It feels really nice finished, but all the cotton, it didn't have as much elasticity, so I didn't really love that. So I don't know what I'm going to do with that. Kind of a bummer, but then another finished object. It's a little pair of, there goes my top. Okay, a little pair of ankle socks for my daughter. And this is just a pattern that I started writing up, but I'm gonna have to start over because I lost my little notes on the plane somewhere. Maybe somebody's knitting some little short socks, I don't know. But they're little tiny socks, and I have so much left of the cake that I may have socks. She may have taller socks in the future. I don't know. I was thinking maybe some kind of fade sweater, and I'll save this for her because she would like that. But it's got a lot of pinks and blues and orange. So that is cat sandwich fiber. Okay, and her color it's the smoothie base, which is superwash merino. The colorway is called Roses Kissing Violets. So those are done for my daughter, so she'll be very happy to have those. And what else? I don't know. I've been working on so much, I feel like. I have a few whips. I didn't bring them. Oh, yes, I did. Okay. One is a test knit. It's for Annie from This Bird Knits, and I'm allowed to do a little sneak peek. So there you go. So I'm using Quince & Co. in the chickadee base, and my main color is Caspian, which is a pretty heathered tan. And then I have Bird's Egg, and it's kind of an unusual color combination for me, but Boreal, and then Sedum. So it's an unusual combination for me, but I really like it, and it's very fall to me. And the yarn is really nice so far, so I'm excited about that, and I will share more of that when I'm allowed, but that is not yet. And then one thing I picked up that has been on my needles, and actually, so I cast this project on, literally cast on, knit one row, and then I put it in my cabinet, and I haven't looked at it since, until we came back from Italy. And then all of a sudden I was like, I want to knit that, which is weird for a few reasons. One, it's another brown sweater, and I don't ever wear brown. Just felt like it. So it's the Nordiska by Caitlin Hunter. And I am following instructions of Caitlin's, but also of, can't think of her name, from Yama Color in South Africa. Oh gosh, I'm sorry, I can't think of what your name is, but you did a worsted version. And so I'm doing a worsted version, and I'm hoping I don't run out of yarn, because I feel like I might. But if you don't know the Nordiska, I don't know if I have a photo, because I'm terrible about that. This is a back picture, but I think you guys all know it. It's been one that a lot of people have been doing. It's been out for a while. The main color I'm using is the Fiber Company Canopy Fingering in Sarsaparilla, which is 50% baby alpaca, 30% merino, and 20% viscose bamboo. So I'm holding this double, and then I don't have my other colors with me. I'm also doing a purple and a mustard color. So I'll show more of that. I've just gotten past the splitting for sleeves, and we'll see how far I can get before I start the color work, because I don't want it to be super cropped since it's a looser fitting garment, because I'm doing worsted weight. So it will be interesting. It's kind of, hopefully it turns out the way I think it will. I don't really know. Another thing that I've been working on for a long time, and I finally picked it up again, it's been like, I cast this on a year ago. And this first one, for my Waiting for Henry socks by Tabitha Gandee from the Hey Sister podcast, this has been done for a long time, and I cast on the second one, and then I left the cast on, and I never picked it up again. I don't know why I keep doing that, but I decided when I got back, I was very, I didn't want to knit on anything I had. I didn't knit a whole lot in Italy. I was too hot. I was enjoying being with my family and stuff, and I just didn't do it. So when I got back, I wanted something easy and fun. So I started the second sock. I just been whizzing through it. So the main color is SeraCraft yarn on my everyday twist base, and this color is called Confetti. And then this purple is really similar to my Blue Mountain colorway, but this one is just a scrap that I don't know who did it. And then the last one is a Lolo Did It color, this pink, and I don't think I have, oh yes, I do have the tag. Beauty School Dropout. So, for a little, gosh, it's a little low. Okay, anyway, so those I'm just kind of moving along on, which is good. I decided I need more socks this fall because mine are starting to look a little bit worn. I hand wash them all in cold water. I use a color catcher sheet on some of the ones that I'm scared might bleed, even if I've washed them a lot of times, and sometimes a splash of vinegar if that is really a concern with some indie dyed yarn. And then I use a gentle wool wash, but for some reason several of them are just kind of looking worse for wear, so I need to start doing more. Another project I've been working on is the Maritimo tee, and I say have been working on because I worked on this and then I took it to Italy and I was all set to continue with it. I love the lace, and I love the way that the lace looks. My main color is my Space Adventures color, and want that is the main color of this top. I don't know why. I feel like that shade of gray might wash me out a little bit because I'm tan for me. And I just feel like it's not going to be super flattering, and I don't know what to do. I'm not sure. I don't really want to rip back. I'm sort of thinking of just continuing in a darker gray for the body, but I don't really know. I don't know what to do. What do you guys think I should do? Because that's a Caitlin Hunter pattern also. So that's the Maritimo tee. The dark gray is my graphite color. This is Hedgehog Fibers, and I think Dragonfly, maybe? I don't know, but so I'm not sure what to do with that. Another thing that I picked up, because I've been just randomly picking up stuff, I guess, is I pulled these out. This was my Christmas Eve cast on, was the Selbu mittens, and I love them. I got the first one done. It's beautiful. I just have, well, done except for the thumb. I have to go back and do the thumb. And I started the second one and didn't make it very far, and I was just whizzing along, and I thought, oh, this is so great, whatever. And then it was late at night, jet lag. I don't know. So I have to obviously rip that back. You can't do a pattern like this, have that right there on your hand, and let that mistake go. I mean, I can't. I just have to rip it back. It's horrible. And it isn't that far, but I feel like I'm frogging everything. So I was kind of disappointed about that. So anyway, so that's on a US 6 DPNs. And I'll tell you what my yarn is in just a second. Those are the Selbu mittens by Steam Deer Knits, in case you don't know. And it's a great pattern, and I highly recommend it. I love it. I love the yarn, in fact, that I'm using. I bought this at Knit the Studio in, well, I think it's technically Spangle, but it's listed as Spokane. But anyways, I went to see my friend Chris there, and she recommended this to me from Rama. And this is a 50% alpaca, 50% wool yarn. And so it's very affordable. I mean, it's $12 a ball, and I will easily get the whole pair with probably some scraps. So I really, really like this yarn. It's soft, but it's definitely woolly, a little bit toothy, and I just really like it a lot. So that's exciting. What else? I did a little tiny bit of work on my morning coffee socks by Kay Litton from the Crazy Sock Lady, and I realized that I had memorized the pattern, and I just kept going, and I was decreasing for the gusset, and I kept knitting on as if I was knitting a different stitch count. I don't know what I was doing. I started decreasing back and knitting on like I was doing a 60 stitch count sock, but I'm doing the 56 stitch count. So I'm not off by that much, but just enough where I was like, what the heck am I doing? So I'm gonna go ahead and decrease a little bit more, and then I'll continue on the foot on there, because I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking. It's just crazy. And this is my jellyfish sock set on my everyday twist base. So I enjoy the pattern. I think I want to be working on fewer things, but I'm doing a little here, a little there, and I'm finding that I was very unfocused. So I got everything out to show you guys, but I really put everything away and have been working on like 1 or 2 projects at a time, and that's been perfect. I'm kind of like an ADD knitter, and I work on a ton of things at once, but I really think being more focused right now is really helpful for me. So this is the pattern, Morning Coffee Socks by Kay Litton. So that was a good one. So I'm going to go back to those one thing at a time, probably finish my Waiting for Henry socks and then go back to those. And then I really want to knit some non-superwash socks. So I'm going to be working on that, and actually I think, sorry, that was my hanger. Right. Okay, so that is the thing, one of the things I was going to tell you guys about. So I'm gonna work on some non-superwash socks, and one of the sort of experiments I'm doing is to see how they wear, but also I'm revamping the business a little bit, as I mentioned before, and I have ordered new yarn bases from an American mill, and it's non-superwash wool. I just want to make sure it's still recording. Okay. Non-superwash wool, and it's beautiful, beautiful yarn. And I will give you a little sneak peek for that. I'm going to try 3 new bases. Oh, I'm so excited. And I'm going to be working on my natural dye some more, because when I decided I wanted to start dyeing yarn, I wanted to do, ideally, I would have my own sheep and have them sheared and spun at a mill here in Washington or very close by into a base that is just mine, and then natural dye. But right now that's not something I can do, and I don't have the resources for that. So I have found another mill that will do some amazing yarn, and I'm really excited about it. And so I'm waiting for that order, and it's beautiful. And so I've been saving some marigolds and some coffee grounds, and I'm growing a few other flowers and things in the garden, and so I'm gonna work on that. And I'll still do some of the acid dye, I'll still do some of the bases that I have before, but I'm not going to be repeating colorways. I decided not to do an advent calendar at this time. I may do like a short 12 days of Christmas or something if I feel that I have the time. But right now I don't have the time. And so I'm going to do this non-superwash sock and see how it goes. So I would like to do a little cal, and I think that Sarah from Graceland Wool is going to do that with me. So if anyone's interested in joining us, I'll open a thread in my Ravelry group and see, you know, I've been watching Emma on the Woolly Mammoth talk a lot lately. I enjoy her podcast very much. And there's been a few sock patterns that she has mentioned on older episodes that were really meant for non-superwash yarn. So I'm going to be looking for those specifically. So if you have suggestions, I would love suggestions for that. And then I just want to try them out and see. I'm excited. So that'll be good. And then some other projects I'm planning to start are the Throwback Cardigan by Andrea Mowry. And then I'm going to be working on some more sewing and slow wardrobe fashion things, like a lot of linen and everything. I'm going to be doing research on kombucha. I feel like I have a lot that I'm thinking about. And then with this business revamp, I have a sale going on in my shop right now. Everything is 25% off until the end of the month, no code needed, and free shipping. So in the US. So you should take advantage of that if there's something that you're interested in. If you see a colorway that you like, I will not be repeating it. So you should snag that while you can. And if you have, you know, recommendations for me on kombucha, on the socks, on anything else I've mentioned, I would love to hear from you guys on that. And I've been reading a whole lot, so I'm going to continue on with that. I wanted to read 12 books in 2019, and I think I'm at 10 right now-ish. So that's a big deal for me, because I used to read like that all the time, but I haven't read like that in years, and so it feels really good. I think I'm going to run out of time in a second. If I do, I'll just start another and then slice them together. And then I just got one of my birthday presents today from my parents, and they know that I have a little bit of a vacation hangover. I want to go back. And they sent this to me, which is Jamie Oliver's Jamie's Italy. So I love cookbooks, and I really loved all the food we ate, and I am excited. This just came in the mail, so I'm going to sit with a cup of coffee and read that right now. Well, the kids are at a play date. Both of them, the play date. It's never happened. It's very exciting, and I'm kind of a little nervous. I keep checking for text messages because I keep thinking that for sure I'm going to be hearing about somebody needs me, but maybe not. So, work on my testnet, look at my book, I'm excited. So let me just make sure I mentioned everything I was interested in talking about. Yeah. And then I will go ahead and put some little snippets, videos, there'll be little pictures of things maybe at the end. And then I might see if I can get my husband to do a little short video on how he braids garlic. Maybe for next time. We'll see. Because I showed a picture of that and somebody was really interested in it, and I realized that maybe a few people are really interested in that, and I'm never doing it. I'm always sitting there watching or like knitting and sort of half watching. That's totally his thing, and he said it's really easy, and he's sort of surprised that anyone would want to see it. But I guess if you haven't done it, or you don't have someone doing it for you like I do, that maybe it's really cool to watch, because it's neat to see it braided and hung up out there. So anyway, so I will see if I can talk him into that. If it's not at the end of this video, then I will try for next time. So I think that's everything. I feel like I'm forgetting something, but looking around, I think I've got everything. I didn't talk about my night shift shawl. I'm almost done with it, so I'll show it. Maybe I can finish it for next time. So anyway, I hope you're all doing really well. I hope you're having a great vacation, enjoying family, and some people are already back to school. I'm glad we still have a month, because my daughter starts preschool, my son starts 4th grade, and those 3 mornings that she's in school too are going to be lonely, I think, at first. I'm excited for her. She's very excited. The house will be very quiet. I think I will get some dyeing and some knitting done, but I gotta say, I'm kind of upset a little bit about it. I'm kind of sad a little bit. It's really weird to think about. So anyway, I have great plans of things I could be doing in that time. I could work out, I could dye yarn, I could knit, I could cook, I could clean. I'm probably gonna knit and drink coffee. I don't know. But anyway, so I hope you're all well. Have a great, probably rest of your summer, because I'll probably be back in September. We'll see. And yeah, enjoy your knitting. And I will post pictures of the test knit when I'm allowed. Okay, so take care. Thanks for joining me. I'm going to do a little garden tour on my phone while it's sort of been weeded. So let's see, this used to be garlic. Now it's all weeds. We pulled the garlic and braided it. And that's hanging out to dry. This is a bunch of peppers. We had kind of a rough summer too. After we were gone, some things really bolted, went to seed. So we have really super hot scorpion peppers, and there's some jalapenos and poblanos and bell peppers, and then tomatillos at the end. And the peppers are so small, I don't really think we're going to get much out of them. But then we have a bunch of tomatoes, several varieties of tomatoes. So many. So there's a couple rows of that. And then I can get over to the next part. There's a few different kinds of pumpkins and squash. This is cucumbers, a Japanese cucumber. So we're starting to get some fruit there. And there's a pretty good size one hiding under here. But I'm trying not to pick them too early because they are bitter when they're early. So then some random tomatillos came up in a wrong spot down there. We're just going to leave them and see what we get. This one, I can't remember what this guy is. I think this might be the jack-o'-lantern pumpkin. Yes, heirloom jack-o'-lantern. So we have some of those. And this is some Swiss chard. and rainbow shard, but bugs have gotten to that, so we'll have to see. You can see they've been eaten. I'll have to probably plant some new. And I have some empty space for some new fall crops. This is some garnet leaf lettuce, and it looks really, really sad. There were too many weeds overtaking that area, so I'm going to have to plant more. And then I have more squash. I think these are the Blue Hubbard. Let's look. I left all the tags this year. Oh no, those are the spaghetti squash. The Blue Hubbard must be somewhere else. Oh, there's one of our jack-o'-lantern pumpkins. It's looking pretty good. So, as I step around in here, this is a butternut squash. And there's some flowers and stuff in there. A couple of little guys started. These are Mexican sour gherkins. If you haven't had those before, they're teeny tiny. They look like a little bitty watermelon. They taste like a cucumber, and sometimes they're called cucamelons. And the kids like to just eat them right off the plant. And we also do a little quick pickle with them, and those are good. And these are cabbage this year. We're going to make another big batch of sauerkraut because that was fun. This is the Blue Hubbard. Of course, I don't know what I was thinking, looking at the wrong plant. Anyway, so that's a Blue Hubbard. And then all of our cauliflower just looks awful. It was really ready to pick, I think, right before our trip. And I should have picked it and put it in the freezer, but so it looks terrible. And then these are some poppies that look horrible and need to be cut back, so I'm going to do that. Here we have some kalima beans. So it's like a green bean. And then there's arugula that got cut down right in the middle. And then these are a maestro pea. They're a giant pea, and you can eat them when they're young and small, like a snap pea, or you can wait. And so this is when they're small. And then if you wait till they're bigger, they get even bigger than this, but they get giant peas in there. And then I moved the roses into this bed. You can see there's some pretty pink ones under there. And there were a couple of sunflower seeds in this bed. So all of a sudden, the massive sunflower started taking over the bed. So this is some lettuce. It's like a romaine style lettuce. And a giant amount of kale. So much kale. I cut a ton yesterday. And I'll make some kale chips, and then we'll just eat kale also for dinner. But it's starting to need to be cut back. So these are more tomatillos. Hopefully they all start coming soon so I can make some salsa verde. These are a golden wax bean. So like a yellow green bean situation. These are another pumpkin. I know there's one hiding around in here. There's a little guy. And there's another one way over on the side. I'll get to it. Those are a gallo pumpkin. They have like those gallo pumpkins have look like warts on the outside, and they're really neat. This is cilantro, some green onions. That's all carrots. So many carrots. I'm going to have to deal with those. And beets, which I think if they're kind of woody and stuff by now, I might die with those. I'm not really sure. Surprise, surprise. More tomatillos. More green onions. More empty space so I can plant some more stuff. And then all of our thyme is flowering, so I'm going to have to cut back and dry a bunch of that. Get the flowers off there. This is our first time growing celery, and there's a ton of it, and it just got giant. I'm going to have to look up some tips on that because it has so many bugs in it. Like so many earwigs and tiny flies and all kinds of stuff, and it's like really woody. It's not super awesome. So that's a bummer. But these random tomatillos around, I guess when we took the beds down last year, there were just seeds everywhere. Or tomatillos kind of mixed in, and we just let them come up because we love tomatillos and we figured what the heck. So there's one of those. I don't know if you can see it, I'm not sure. Over there. Those yellow melons. And then my giant sunflowers. They're huge. They're a mixed sunflower, a mammoth sunflower, and then several kinds. And then all my others, my flowers got kind of giant and fell. But there's bachelor buttons and marigold. I can't remember right now what these are called. It's just escaping me. There is some chamomile hiding. Oh, there it is. So I'll pick that. But we wanted some flowers to pick this year, and they're beautiful, but we haven't really picked many to bring them in because they're bringing too much pollen in, and my son is allergic. So that's the low garden, and then we have another garden that's mostly berries, and we have a little orchard, so maybe I will do another little tour. So there's the one, and I will ask my husband about braiding the garlic. I know some people were interested in how he does that. So, all right,